And good morning, good Saturday morning. Glad to have you with us. Welcome to Sports Talk. Beautiful outside, sunny already, and we can expect it to be, how hot today, Mike Powell?
Cooler than yesterday. 78, I think.
Uh-oh. Test, Jason.
Testing one,
Got
two.
you. Test, Brett.
Test.
Good. Test again, Mike.
Testing. Testing. Not here.
What is going on there?
I'm over the hills and far away.
Let me think of what that could be. Yeah, y'all just have to share that one till we get a break, and then we will.
Testing.
What was my question?
About how
How high
high
is
the
it?
temperature you think
Yeah.
it's going to be?
Yeah, I haven't even looked, but here lately, didn't we hit 89 already?
No, yeah, that was yesterday.
Was it yesterday we hit 89?
I think 78, 10 degrees cooler, something like that.
You're right, 78, right on it. 63 right now, 78 for the high. Rain tomorrow.
Ooh.
Rain tomorrow. Rain and more rain and a lot of rain from what I understand for tomorrow. Plenty of sports to talk about. I tell you right now, and I hear a lot of...
Okay, bing, sorry.
Is that yours?
Yeah.
So we can't hear you, but we can definitely hear your computer and phone making non-sounds of silence this morning. But there's a button on there to turn that tone off.
I got it. I'm good.
He usually finds it about 10:05. But high school baseball, high school softball, those sports are in... I don't know super mode right now because it's winding down. Huge game last night. Mike and I saw last night a baseball game like I've never seen before when it comes to high school baseball, and we'll explain that in a little bit. The softball game that was up on the hill, you wouldn't believe it. There was 10 runs scored in the game. All in the sixth inning or after in that softball game. Mm-hmm. The baseball game, there was a 7-0 lead. Erased completely.
Yep.
Erased completely.
Mike, use your other mic.
Yeah, don't go up to the one that's not working.
The one that's not
Well, I mean,
working.
it's just old habit, obviously.
Yeah. Well, move that thing over out of the way for the time being.
May
And
have to.
there you go. That'll break it.
There we go.
Good morning, Hooks. Awake this morning. We've already seen his friend Mike Painter that dropped in and said hello to us this morning as well. Good morning to Mike as well. So
He told me that the police department here just hired a former Western Carolina University lineman.
they're getting a football team up?
Yeah. Well, he's 6'7", 275, and the guy coming in is like 6'3", 245 that they're training now. That's a pretty good offensive front. We're defensive.
You guys will be able to guess who this is for. Sounds like the pride of the Broncos in the house this morning. And he's wearing his hat to support that this morning.
Well, yeah.
And that's not the Denver Broncos we're talking about. That's the Florida State. Nope, not Florida State.
The black FSU.
The black FSU. Is that their is that the way it's the sign when you enter?
Well, we go by Family State University. We're more family.
There you go. There you go. How many students at Fayetteville State would you
total
say?
enrollment, including because we have a campus on Fort Liberty now, so it's almost 8,000 students total enrollment.
8,000.
With as far as on campus living about 1,500.
What would you guess Florida State?
About 20,000 probably.
Yeah, I'd say at least that.
Yeah, right.
I think Florida, Mike, you have to have that mic whenever Mike with the mic.
Yeah, probably more. I'd say 35, 40,000.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking 35. That's the first number coming to my head. But some of the conferences, some of the schools when Maryland was in the ACC, I think they were the largest student body.
Well, if you think enrollment, that number is huge.
Oh,
if
it's
you think
different too. On campus.
Yeah, like undergraduates on campus or,
Yeah,
there's a lot of different numbers you can come up with. So.
Well, of course, what happens now, most big schools have 5 or 6 campuses in the state. I mean.
Yeah. And you can actually go through.
And doesn't Liberty have
4 or 5 years of college and not even show up on campus
not
ever?
even show up on campus ever.
Things have changed.
The idea of a university in a one setting, that's gone away.
One guy on, which one my favorite show, the Dan Patrick Show, Paulie, he says his motto in college was C's get degrees. So
that's what my grandson Adam said.
Is that what he said?
Degrees.
C's get degrees. I like the little catchy phrase there. But what I was going to say, in that baseball game last night, we saw a 7-run lead in the second inning completely go away. But the team that had the 7-0 lead did eventually pull out the victory.
Yeah.
Did eventually pull out the victory last night. And a late night for us, Mike, at the ballpark.
Yeah.
JV game went right down to the wire. Most time they'll cut it off, but at 6:30. A lot of people don't know the rule here, but I'm going to say something positive about somebody because we don't always hear the positive. Chris Mathiel, the AD at East Lincoln and the head baseball coach, knew if he stopped that game at the deadline, like the rules say in the bylaws for the conference, you stop a JV game at 6:30, done. Okay,
Over.
And it reverts back to the most completed inning. And if he did that, East Lincoln would have been the winner because they were down 5-3, but they were actually ahead at the end of the previous inning.
Yeah.
They would have won. But he said, let them finish it. A
Well,
couple more batters, it's over, and North Lincoln got the win in JV. They were ahead, and whenever he made that decision, the umpires kind of looked at him for guidance. Do we stop it because it is 6:30? And I think it was over by 6:35 because there wasn't like a couple more batters. But I thought that was the right thing to
classy,
do. Yeah, I thought it was the right thing to do.
I didn't even know they played JV and varsity on the same night.
field.
On the
Same
same
night,
field.
same field. This day and time, all the sports that you can have, everybody wants to have them on the same night. They had last night was the trifecta. You had softball, varsity softball on the hill, baseball at the corral, and a soccer match as well. And how many people you think were there last night, Mike? Now you got to remember, spring sports don't draw like football, don't really draw like basketball, but there's probably 500 people wandering around the park.
Yeah, the
last
grassy knoll was a lot of people there sitting in chairs. The bleachers were filled. I'd say 300 people or more.
No, yeah, I was thinking around 5 maybe.
Could be 5.
But
When you consider
and
the
that campus, it's so spread out. It's hard to get a grasp on what the crowd is like at the baseball field because most people sit a long way away because they're up on the hill and they get to look down and it's the better view and things like that. But we'll just go ahead and throw it in there. North Lincoln was the winner of both games last night. At East Lincoln had a 9-game winning streak coming in last night. The last time they had lost was at North Lincoln, 4-3 in 8 innings.
Yeah. March 20th, by the way.
Last night, they North Lincoln come from behind and gives East Lincoln a second loss, a second regular season loss this year. But the key stat in this game for me, guys, and I'm going to let Mike talk about it later, was 9 walks issued to North Lincoln batters. How many of those you think scored runs?
None.
Well, Mike, you were there. I was trying to give our guest, our other guys here, an opportunity. 9 walks, and there was 9 walks and 1 error, and all 10 of those reached base, obviously, and then came in to score runs, and that was the difference. That was the difference in the game because East out hit them like 11-6,
12-6,
12-6. Yeah, doubled them up in hits. But ballpark, a couple home runs maybe. I know at least 1 home run in that game.
1 home run.
But it was a good atmosphere and a good game. I know it was a heartbreaking loss for Coach Mathiel and the Mustangs. And in the girls' game up on the hill, nobody scored. East Lincoln got 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th. North Lincoln came in and got 7 in the top of the 7th, and then East Lincoln scored 1. I think it wound up 7-3, if I'm not mistaken, in that one. So, yeah, we'll get to that and get to some other things, other conferences and other scores as well. But it was just a weird night, I thought. I tell you how weird it was. When you go to football games, Jimmy Cherry is always doing the PA. Randy Zipbaum's running the scoreboard last night.
Reverse.
Something in the air. It was reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, you had Randy. Randy always does the baseball games. He does the PA and the baseball, and Jimmy was filling in.
Yeah, Jimmy
was filling in for
Jerry,
Hammer.
the voice of the Mustangs, was silent last night, pretty much.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I'm going to get you guys started because this is going to be a fun free-for-all, especially for the two guys on the left side of the table, on the right for me. But I'm still confused. I'm still confused at how these play-ins work in the NBA playoffs because I see now.
I thought we were getting to Commanders draft.
Oh, wow. That's coming. That's coming. And I hope you guys disagree on who you want. That'd be even better. But don't say it yet. But that is coming. This is draft week, and I like to spend a lot of time on that if we can. But the first thing I see this morning, 105 to 98. 105 to 98 as the Pelicans beat without Zion, right? He did not play. I was heard he wasn't going to play. And they went 105 to 98.
Jimmy Butler also out.
Yeah, I saw his injury
and
a couple nights ago.
Miami won.
Yeah. But for you guys, you can tell me a little bit about that game if you watched it, how it went, or anything.
That game was watching me last night.
That game was watching you. Hey, I have a lot of games that watch me this day and time. But okay, just give me. Why is there one game play-ins, and is it because of where you're seated?
Well, so here it is. Yeah. So if you're the 7 and 8 seed, when they're competing, those two are competing against each other. The winner of that will automatically become the 7 seed and will face the 2 seed in the playoffs. So the loser of that game gets one more opportunity to try to make the playoffs. So they will face the winner of the 9-10 matchup. The 9-10 matchup winner, stays alive to try to get the 8 seed. If you lose that 9-10 game, you're eliminated. So that's what happened to Golden State on Wednesday night. Was they were the 10 seed, the Kings were the 9 seed. They faced each other. Kings won. Kings stayed alive to play against the Pelicans last night, who lost to the Lakers. So I think they need to rename the play-in the LeBron James Invitational because he's been in the play-in. I think every year that the play-in's been.
And the funny thing I heard this week, a lot of people were saying, "Hey, they ought to throw this game."
Well, that was Mike Greenberg was the main one time so they didn't face Denver. But if you're truly going to compete for a championship, you're going and out west, you're going to have to go through the Nuggets at some point. And I'm of the belief I'd rather face the Nuggets early in the playoffs when it just gets started versus later in the rounds when they're probably in the rhythm and the groove.
And right now the Lakers are healthy.
Yes.
And who knows what happens after a round or two. So go ahead and face them now while you're healthy and feeling fresh.
Is that a Viking shirt you got on? Or is
that
Tarboro.
But yeah, the play. I wish they would get rid of the play-in. I don't think it does any good. You got the 7 and 8 seeds made at the 9s and 10s. The
only thing it does to me, it gives it a little bit of NCAA tournament feel.
It reversed
because you can be one and done.
Lakers and Pelicans, because the Pelicans finished 7th, but they got the 8th seed, and the Lakers finished 8th, and they got the 7th seed.
So are the play-ins done now?
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah,
playoffs start today.
And the teams that made it are the Lakers.
Out west, the 1-8 matchup is Oklahoma City and New Orleans Pelicans. 2-7 is Denver and the Lakers. 3-6 is the Mavericks and the Clippers. And the 3-6 Minnesota and Phoenix, and the 4-5 is Mavericks and Clippers. Yeah.
I'm just sitting here thinking of what would draw the least amount versus what would draw the most.
Put it this way:
the Lakers, wherever the Lakers are playing, I mean, they're going to draw TV.
There's a series in the East that's going to draw the least interest. That's Cleveland and Orlando,
and that would be the
George would like to keep.
And that would be the NBA TV series. Whichever series designated the NBA TV, that's going to draw the least amount of eyes, and that's more than likely going to be it.
Yeah, and then. As a Laker fan, does it bother you at all that Golden State got put out in one game?
No.
It doesn't bother me either.
The Warriors. This is the third time the Warriors has been in the play.
Tired. And you probably heard me in the past. Yeah. Tired of Draymond.
But this is the third time the Warriors have played in the play-in. They're 0-3 in play-in games.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
0-3 and.
So what's weird is they have a title mixed in that 4-year span that they've been in the play-in 3 times. They won a title in
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of see football teams go through things like that. That they, you expect something out of them the entire time they have this roster, but they have a letdown and don't come out quite as good. But I just what was it, there another one then last night?
So the Miami and the Chicago in the East. That one, Miami defeated Chicago. Like I said, without Jimmy Butler, who made
Orange Butler. Neither one were there, right?
So it could be like Butler's. I think Shams is reporting maybe like 3 to 4 weeks out with that the knee, because they think it's meniscus, I think, or something. It's there. He's having to have an MRI.
How old is Jimmy Butler now?
Mid-30s.
Yeah.
And he played for Tom Thibodeau, and that adds about 10 years of wear on your career for Tom Thibodeau all those years in Chicago.
Butler's had a really good career.
He has.
I mean,
and then I know the matchups coming in the East, and it's Boston, Miami. This is the 4th straight year that Boston and Miami have played each other in the playoffs,
and that's never easy for Boston.
And
there never has been.
And the sixth matchup since 2010 between those two teams. And
give me one from each side. Who you think's coming out?
I got Boston coming out the East.
Brett?
Yeah, Boston's been the best team all year. It's hard to go against them.
But sometimes, they just find a way to wither.
I want to take a
lot of pressure on Tatum.
A wild card and take Philly. I think they've got the best player in the East, Embiid.
But hey, I still don't. He's still not healthy.
Yeah, he's coming back from injury. He's not 100%, but they would be my wild card team.
Did you guys hear the story this way? I heard the same story. You might have heard it. He killed a lion when he was 6 or something like that.
They heard that.
That was his story. So I think he was 6 years old or something, in some kind of ritual, wherever he is from.
Cameroon, I think that's where
Cameroon.
Yeah. And then out west, I'm a Laker fan, but I don't see them beating Denver. I don't see anybody beating Denver out west right now.
Yeah,
Denver would be my pick to win the whole
one
thing.
game scenario, you might, but you got to beat them Sun Guns 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
And there again, they've got the best player in the West right now.
Jokic, and he should be win another MVP this year.
Do you have anybody different, Mike? Would you say anybody different, or are you going with the same teams that they just?
I'll go with the flow.
With the what?
The flow.
The flow, yeah. It's hard to go against it.
But my wild card in the West is Phoenix. I think they've been playing good, and they can score. They got, Durant, Booker, and Bradley Beal. If they're all playing well, they can beat anybody.
And that's the key. This playoff run is going to be make or break for Phoenix, because the money that they're paying in luxury tax, Matt Ishbia, the new owner, who's basically your mortgages are paying for the Phoenix Suns right now. Will he decide this team doesn't make a deep playoff run? Will he keep them together? Could he blow it up? And you know who the top trade asset would be Kevin Durant out of that 3. Would be Durant. Booker's younger, but I think if somebody wanted to make a bigger impact, I think they will try to trade for Kevin Durant. So that's going to be the question with Phoenix. How long can this team stay together, or what kind of run can they make? Again, they play Minnesota in the first round.
Minnesota's star is
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah,
and
that's
Anthony
not
Edwards.
the one. Anthony Edwards is one of the up and coming guy. Is Anthony Edwards, right?
Yes.
I was just sitting here. If you're an NBA fan, and especially I think more people tune into the playoffs, it starts picking up. You don't care if it rains this weekend or not, because it is wall to wall. 1 o'clock, 3:30, 6 o'clock, 8:30. That's just today. Starting with Orlando, Cleveland, then Phoenix, Minnesota, Philly, and New York, which is great just to see those two cities head to head.
Then
and then Los Angeles and Denver.
Said the first time Philly and New York will play each other in the playoffs, I think, since 89.
Yeah, 89. I heard that yesterday. That's hard to believe.
That's because the Knicks have only made it like twice since.
Is that? Yeah. Well, that goes a long way.
Well, or the Knicks was always getting eliminated by the Miami Heat. Remember that run in the 90s? It seemed like the Knicks and the Heat were just always knocking each other out there.
Tomorrow it starts at 1 with Miami, Boston, Dallas, and the Clippers.
That's one I'm looking forward
Dallas
to. Other than the Lakers, I want to see Dallas in the.
And is Kawhi healthy? I think they said Kawhi.
Yeah, he's questionable
Kawhi is
for
a Clipper.
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Who else?
The Clippers: Kawhi, Paul George,
Harden, Westbrook.
Harden. Yeah, Harden and Westbrook. Yeah.
Hey, that's not a bad force.
And then Dallas has Luka and Kyrie.
Is that enough?
Well,
I'm just.
Yeah.
For the first round, yeah, I think so. Especially if Kawhi's not healthy. I don't know if that's enough to win the title, but.
Yeah, well, I really meant just at this series.
But they've been
here.
hot. They've been hot the last month. Dallas has.
Indiana, Milwaukee also tomorrow night. Giannis.
No,
He's
out
for right now. And if I'm him, take as much time to heal. Because he has a strained calf. Go back to 2019. Kevin Durant. He's missed those games early in the playoffs because of a strained calf, and then rushed it back, and then ended up rupturing his Achilles. It's the same thing Giannis has right now with the strained calf.
We're seeing a lot of stars in this NBA in our 16 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Not a go, at least in game one.
And you know what? And this year was the year they had to play at minimum 65 games to qualify for the postseason awards, or the post regular season awards. You know, all NBA.
The players individually had to play.
So you know, not having load management.
So does that count if you put them in for 1 minute?
They have to play. If they play, they guess as soon as you come in.
1 minute to qualify is playing the game.
Yeah, but I don't think they would do that with any stars to only play them a minute.
But that was for the regular season claim anyway. I'm just saying this was the first time this year.
Well, if you're trying to rest the guy though, and you want him to qualify, I mean, if both things fall into place, Brett, if you want to rest him, and
but I'm saying nobody did that.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't didn't do it that way, and because I'm glad for the fans. That went to see that particular player play. The last one I said is Indiana, Milwaukee. Then Sunday night, the nightcap, New Orleans and Oklahoma City. And the way you guys sound, this is Oklahoma City a heavy favorite.
They are.
I would say with Zion out, they're a heavy favorite.
They are. The thing that concerns me with Oklahoma City is their big men are not big men. They're more tall men. So you got skinny guy, you got skinny Chet, and they go against a team. You know, I can see them matching up against Denver. I don't expect anybody to beat Denver, but
not Manu Boltall, right?
Yeah. Well, even New Orleans they've got pretty good size. I don't think that's. I don't think New Orleans is a pushover, but I think if they had Zion, I think they really could win the series.
Especially the way he played against the Lakers before he got injured.
Yeah.
I mean, scoring 40 points there, you know, it was probably the best game of his pro career going to that performance Wednesday night.
Mike, get in on this. Here we go.
Well, my question is average ratings during the regular season NBA, 82-game season, was 1 million viewers. What do you think the ratings will be for the postseason?
Well, they'll go up with each round.
Yeah,
I do think they'll go up with each round.
Some of these series are going to have way more viewers than others.
Right, like you said, like
the Lakers and Denver series is going to have a ton of viewers,
and they guarantee that ESPN and TNT are definitely going to, when they had those chances to broadcast that matchup, they're going to put them in the primetime slots, either your Saturday night or your Sunday afternoon game, or your.
Here's a good way to compare this. Caitlin Clark, playing in the championship game, made women's basketball draw 18 million, while the men drew 13.
Yeah,
close or something in that range.
Remember the two differences. Women's game was on network TV also versus cable for the men.
But it is what it is, though. Yeah, I mean, it is 18 versus the 13, 12 or 13. Will an NBA game eclipse 18 million?
Depending upon the matchup, you got to say the finals.
Because I don't have a clue. I'm just asking.
If the finals put your traditional teams in there, if you get a Lakers, you get a New York, you get a Boston, you get that matchup, that's going to draw eyes. If the Knicks somehow make the finals, that's going to draw eyes.
Honestly, it'd make me watch. Yeah. You know, it would. I mean, I would watch more if the Knicks were in it.
And I think this Knicks and Sixers series will probably do pretty well on TV, but it's not going to. I doubt a game will reach 18 million.
See, wonder what I would like to see what the numbers are on the most watched NBA game in history. You know what the highest rated game ever was?
Probably a Lakers Celtics
way back.
Jordan Utah game 6. I'm from the
there were some Jordan ones. Yeah. The games against Phoenix and Utah.
Well, just like one reason is big markets, Boston playing LA, plus the other. I actually think. I think after Bird and Magic, maybe 5 years into their career, might have been the peak for NBA. And I'm not saying something hadn't outweighed it now, but then again, how much more population do we have now? So there's more. You have a chance to go to 15 million or whatever, 18 million. Better today because obviously there's more TVs.
The highest rated and most watched NBA Finals series was the '98 Finals with Chicago and Utah.
Which was Jordan's last year. With
It was
the
his
Bulls.
last year, and a lot of people wanted to see Stockton Malone
It
win
said
one.
averaged 18.7. Wes says rating. 29 million viewers.
29.
So 18.7.
I don't know if that means
For the whole
an average of
series or
29 per game, or I don't know what that means.
Well, surely it was more than that for the entire series.
Yeah.
That was the infamous Jordan push-off, right?
Yep. Game 6 there.
Who was the defender?
Byron Russell.
He's still falling backwards.
Or Brian Russell.
He got
excuse me,
pushed.
Byron.
Yeah, what? I remember that. But should be some very good series. I know. What's the most likely to be a sweep? And is this 4?
Yeah. It's
Y'all win 4.
best of 7.
Okay.
Best of 7.
They're all best 4 of 7.
Yeah.
Quantity.
Which that's good. I mean,
that was the Laker rule of 2004.
They make big money; they're earning it. I wonder if has anybody ever went. This is just throwing it out there. Has anybody ever played 28 playoff?
All 7 games.
Yeah.
The closest,
I
closest was the 08 Celtics. The Celtics, they ended up winning the championship that year because they went 7 their first 3 rounds. The first round, the Eastern semifinals, and the Eastern finals, and then they beat the Lakers in 6 in the finals.
Yeah, I guess
that's the closest I can remember.
Did you say one? That's one shy.
Yeah, they went one shot. They went
one shy of playing the max.
No, excuse me. They went 5. They played 5 because. No, it was 2-3. It was 6 because Boston clinched at home. It was game 6. So they played one shy of playing the max of 28 games.
Wow, that has to wear you down.
And that's what people thought going into that finals that year, the Lakers and Celtics of 08, that Boston just played basically 21 games here coming into the finals, and we saw what happened when we get to the finals.
Rodney says, speaking of the Ant-Man, he is fun to watch. He's electric. And he's talking about Anthony.
Yeah, he is.
Yep.
And I'm looking. They just announced this week the final 12 for the Team USA. Grant Hill went and passed out their jerseys. Anthony Edwards, as far as the young guys on the team, is Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, that's under 30. Jason Tatum
and
under 30.
All NBA
for Team USA. Yeah, the
Team
senior
USA,
men's
okay,
Team USA basketball. So Edwards, Halliburton, Jason Tatum are three of the guys that's under 30. Then you got the old heads with LeBron is playing again. This will be his 4th Olympics. Fourth Olympics. I think it's going to be his 4th. 04, 08, 12. Yeah, 4th Olympics. Kevin Durant. Steph Curry playing in his first Olympics this year. He's played on Team USA, but it was in the World Championship game. Joel Embiid is playing for Team USA. He's a U.S. citizen. He declared once he got his citizenship, he would play for Team USA. Anthony Davis is back with Team USA. Kawhi Leonard making his first time appearance.
Yeah, it's weird. A lot of injury-prone guys.
Old heads on
with
the team.
Anthony Davis, Embiid, Kawhi. That's a lot of guys that miss a lot of time. I don't like it for the NBA.
Which one of you guys went first with your lyrics last week?
I think Mike did.
Well, you go first today, Brett. Get yours ready.
Okay.
And because I've got some, I'm afraid I'm going to.
I've got a real toughie in terms of naming the exact song.
I've got a
title.
What did you say? What was the last part you said?
No, I'm saying
no. You said I've got a real tough title. Okay,
the title's tough.
That's okay.
Based on the lyrics.
Okay.
Now mine's a '90s song that I don't know if anybody.
Well, good, because
I don't know if anybody will get.
Yeah. I was so.
But I think you'll know it.
Now wait a minute. I listened to.
I was very worried we'd have the same one today.
I know.
Okay, don't go any further. No. I was just afraid we'd have the same one today. Don't say any more about that.
Yeah.
But before we take our time out, and Mike is going to give his, which one did I say? Brett's going to give his lyrics first, right? He's ready to roll. But I want you guys just to give me, don't tell me why. Just tell me the 2 teams that are going to be in the finals. Your picks. Start over here with Brett because Mike he's like me. He'll take him just a little bit.
Well, just to be different from Jason, I'm going to go with Philly and Phoenix.
Ooh.
That is different.
Yeah, the battle of the PHs.
And then I'm going with both. I'm going with the 1 seed Boston and the 2 seed Denver for coming.
And those really are the 2 best teams. I mean, I just want to take somebody different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ditto with Jason. The 2 best teams, Celtics and Denver.
Okay. Yeah, I feel very solid about Denver about getting back again. But because of the longevity
they do have
of
a tougher
the series,
than Boston does.
But on the east side, here lately, Boston's found a way to choke. Philadelphia. I'll go with Philadelphia. That's who you went with, Brett, as well.
Yeah, as the 7 seed.
That's weird, isn't it? But there's a reason for that 7, right? Because injury plague.
Yeah, Embiid missed a lot of time.
Yeah, missed
and remember, we saw it last year. A team went from the play-in to the finals in the Miami Heat. They went in. They went from an 8 seed. They went from a play-in as an 8 seed, 4 minutes away from the season being over last year, to making it to the finals, all the way to the finals, to eventually lose to Denver. But it can happen. The big question in this playoffs is, I know Milwaukee, Giannis, I wouldn't rush them back. But if you're Milwaukee, you got to think, we fired our coach after who won 30 games this year. We fired him midway through the season to bring in Doc Rivers, and we haven't really improved it at all. Do you keep Dame Lillard after this season?
Well, I'm going to assume something here. Who are they playing, Rodney? He says no Thunder love.
No experience.
No, but some Thunderstruck.
Expect them to get out their first round. I think they can beat the Pelicans, but I don't think they can beat Denver. That's the thing.
Who's the head coach of the Thunder?
I seen his face. I can't tell you his name. I can't. He's a young guy.
Honestly, I could go through all 16 teams, and I might, just me personally, I might name you 2 or 3 head coaches. I may not, because. Well, we always talk about it this way. In college basketball, the coaches are the stars and the players just come and go. But in the NBA, the players are the stars.
Yeah.
And the coaches just move around so much that I just really don't know.
I could give you.
I know Doc Rivers is coaching somewhere.
Give you 500,000 guesses. You'll never guess the coach of the Thunder. I had to just look up his name. Mark Daigneault.
Oh, yeah. I'm lying.
Yeah. Or Mark Daigneault. Maybe that's how you pronounce it.
Might be Deneau.
Deneau. It could be Deneau.
It could be Deneau.
Yeah.
All right, Brett, take it away. What you got?
All right. Like I said, this is a 90s.
90s
song.
Jason.
That's me, baby. 90s.
Not talking about age now. We're talking about.
You're not far wrong.
All right. Well, tell me, do you think it'd be all right if I could just crash here tonight?
We'll be back in a moment.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Dr. John Clonger III and Dr. Aaron Hebner's mission is to earn their patients' respect and trust through the commitment and positivity, and offer the dental solutions in a professional environment to improve oral and overall health. The practice will be accepting new patients. Just call 704-735-0765 to schedule an immediate appointment. We can provide services like extractions, crowns, bridges, fillings, night guards, cleanings, and deep cleanings, sleep apnea appliances, partials, and dentures. We can also advise determine a treatment plan for dental implants. Dr. John Clonger III and Dr. Aaron Hebner, 904 Doncha Drive, Lincolnton. Call 704-735-0765 to schedule your appointment and experience the dental profession in a warm and no-pressure environment. I'm telling you, the apple didn't fall far.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit mooneyinsurance.com.
It's time to get ready for spring. Time to head to Full Throttle Power Sports and 95 Trailers. Test drive an ATV or side-by-side today. Full Throttle Power Sports carry CF Moto, Yamaha, Suzuki, Kawasaki, Honda, and Slingshot. And check out their trailers with brand names like SureTrack, Iron Bull, and Triton. Stop by or give them a call at 704-833-1270. Full Throttle Power Sports, 100 Indian Walk in Lowell. Online at ncfullthrottle.com. They deal in fun.
Hi, folks. This is Will Poteet, president and co-owner of RE/MAX Crossroads. The real estate market is ever-changing, but it's not too late to sell your home for a great price. If you're thinking about selling your home, give us a call at 704-736-1717 to speak with one of our expert agents. We would love the opportunity to earn your business.
This is Creighton Kell with Kell Insurance. We have been helping people for over 25 years with all their Medicare needs. We represent the same national and local companies as the insurance agencies you see on TV. And you know what? We can sit down with you one-on-one and help you find the right plan just for you.
Kell Insurance is located beside the Cultural Center and behind Gillum Realty in downtown Lincolnton. 107 North Cedar Street. Call 704-732-4646 and follow them on Facebook. Kell Insurance.
And welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Sports Talk. David Keever, Mike Powell, Jason Barber, Brett Keever here with you in the studio today. We have the lyrics. Give us that line one more time or two, whatever it was.
Well, tell me, do you think it'd be all right if I could just crash here tonight?
And I knew it in my head, and that once Mike said he knew it and got the group and the artist, it was so simple to me. I'm upset at myself. I did not get it. Ned has the band.
Okay.
But is yet to name the song. Say it again.
Hello, hello.
No.
Nope.
Jason, try yours.
Testing.
Jason's still working. It don't matter what we plug into Jason's. We're going to get that fixed, though. We're going to get that fixed. It's got to be a simple solution, I would think. But Mike, you got it. You tell them who it is. Who is that on that?
That is group out of Arizona, I believe. The Gin Blossoms and Jealousy.
Jealousy.
Hey, Jealousy.
Hey, Jealousy.
Yeah, very, very good group from the 90s. One of my favorites. And that's why I'm really upset that I was unable to get that this morning. But as soon as he said that crash here tonight, that set me off, set my wheels in motion. But just never came to me. My guess was Goo Goo Dolls. Same time frame, right? Basically the same.
Yeah, I think Gin Blossoms were a little before, a few years before. Yeah.
Okay. Let's get into
Gin Blossoms' main guy was already dead by the time the Goo Goo Dolls. He was another 90s suicide.
He wasn't 27, was he?
No, he was a little older.
Okay, that
in his 30s.
Seems to be.
But he wasn't a singer.
Year.
He was the lead guitarist, but he was like the guy that pretty much started the band.
Yeah, well, if you grew up in grunge, you either, if you were the front man, either suicide or drug overdose. So,
yeah. And who's in that 27 club? Kurt Cobain?
Kurt Cobain.
Jimi Hendrix.
In fact, his anniversary of his death just, was it April?
It is April something.
April something. So not too long ago. Oh, yeah, Hendrix, Joplin.
Jim Morrison. Amy Winehouse,
yeah. There's...
That 27, that's just so strange.
I gotta say, yeah.
You got. We need to make shirts that says "I beat 27." If you're able to survive it,
It may last a while.
Yeah. Major League Baseball last night. The Red Sox beat the Pirates 8-1. Cubs over the Marlins.
I saw a stat on Boston's starting pitching this year. The ERA is like 170 something.
Yeah, but they lead the league in errors. More than 10 over the second place. It was like 25-12 going into yesterday. They had 25 errors committed already, and the second closest to that was 12. Their defense is basically the Bad News Bears, which was on TV this week. If you saw that or not, it's kind of sad the way they play defense. They do have a decent team. They have a really good pitching staff. It looks like to start the season. And one thing Boston did the other night, they won a game over only a game over the Guardians, one of 3, but they had the shortest game in time since 2010. That's 14 seasons.
Oh, wow.
A game that went 1 hour and 49 minutes.
Golly.
1 hour and 49 minutes. The pitcher was just on fire for Boston that night, Tanner Houck.
I guess he didn't need a pitch clock then.
He did not. His slider he was throwing would start 3 feet out of the strike zone and come back and catch the same spot every single time. If you could pitch like that, every game you'd be a shoe-in for Hall of Fame at some point. But I actually watched that one. Didn't take much of my time. It was, like I said, an hour.
That's hard to believe. Less than 2 hours.
Hour and 49 minutes. I knew it ended at 7:03, and I said, well, I know they didn't start till at least 7:05, but I found out later 7:15 start, and then whatever the math comes up to, 1:49 was the official time on that. He was just I'm surprised he actually gave up the 2 hits. I think he gave up 2 hits, maybe more than that, but I'm surprised he actually gave up. He wasn't as sharp in the first couple innings as he got later. It was just working for him. So Red Sox win last night 8-1 over the Pirates in Pittsburgh. Red Sox 11-10, Pirates 11-9. Cubs over the Marlins. Is this a surprise for the Cubs, or should we expect it? 12-7 out of the gate.
I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I was about to say I haven't heard much to be expected from the Cubs.
Nope. I can't even tell you who their stars are right now.
And who's the manager?
Danby Swanson.
I'm going to say David Ross got fired, right? He was the previous manager. I can't remember who's the manager.
It's Craig Counsell.
Okay,
he
okay.
left
Good
Milwaukee
manager.
and went.
Good manager.
to the Cubs.
Craig Counsell, good manager.
I think Cody Bellinger and Dansby Swanson would be the 2 faces and names you'd recognize.
Yeah, a Dodger and a Brave.
Yeah.
That's what happens in baseball.
But they've got some good young guys, too.
The Reds beat the Angels. The 10-9 Reds over the Angels 7-1. The Phillies improved to 12-8, 7-0 last night over the White Sox. Man, are the White Sox the worst team in baseball now?
It looks like it.
My gosh, 3-16. I don't know what's happening there. They seem to be signing about as many players to come in and help as the Red Sox do, which is nil. But just didn't expect the White Sox to fall off and be that bad. I think, here's what Rodney says. We're going back to that Boston thing. Starting pitching, ERA is 1.72. Most in errors. They lead the league in errors. Yeah, I guarantee you they do that. I've seen most of them on the tube. And what about the Astros start, guys? They win last night 5-3, but it's only their 7th win, 7-14 to start the season. A team we're just used to seeing be good, be steady, make the playoffs.
Defending champs, aren't they? No, Rangers won this.
Rangers won it last year.
I think the Astros will still make a run and at least get in playoff contention.
Who knows? Like you said, by the time All-Star break come around, they'll be.
Baseball it's as big a roller coaster as anything.
That's why
it's ups and downs.
The Dodgers aren't playing great right now, but I'm not real worried about them.
The Yankees beat the Rays last night. The Yankees are 14-6. Tampa drops to 11-10, 5-3 in that one. Listen to this stat though: the Rays last night, 14 hits. The Yankees had 5. Yet you get beat by a couple runs, 5-3. I'm guessing there was probably a couple key walks in that game, and it does show that the Rays made 2 errors. Those might have been critical.
No earned runs.
No earned runs in the game
for the Rays pitching, but they gave up 5 unearned runs.
Those two errors there.
Juan Soto had a 3-run homer.
He's been killing it
in the 7th.
He's earning his money because he has absolutely been killing the baseball.
And the 5 runs came all in that 7th inning for the Yankees.
In the 7th. With the lineup they got, they should be a lot of come from behind wins, if they're ever behind. for the Yankees. Guardians beat the A's 10-2. The Braves over the Rangers last night 8-3. Orioles fall to the Royals. I'd hate to call that game all night. Royals. 9-4 Royals. No, who am I kidding? I'd love to call that game.
Yeah.
Give me a call.
Hey, look at those records.
Yeah, almost identical. Who would have thought the Royals 13-7?
Yeah, that's got to be the biggest surprise in baseball.
On the plus side. Yeah. Who's the biggest surprise in Major League Baseball on the downside?
Like you mentioned, Chicago being the White Sox.
I don't think they had high expectations, but I think they expect to be better than 3-6.
Well, Houston's the one that's
Houston.
you thought would be good.
On the downside.
Houston, yeah.
And I would say the Marlins also, with some of the turmoil with their manager Skip Schumacher, basically telling the team not to give him a contract extension. Like he's basically coaching out like he's a lame duck coach this year.
What? Maybe he winds up like the college coach that his team won the tournament.
But the thing with Schumacher was that there was front office. The Marlins had the first woman general manager last year in Kim Ng, and then they wanted to take some of her responsibilities away, so she stepped down, and she was the one that brought Schumacher in to the fold. And I guess now that she's gone, he doesn't want to be there anymore. So he had the option. They had a team option to extend his contract after this season, and he asked them not to pick up his option.
Which leads me to the question I like to ask: how many MLB teams are there now out of the 30 that are just there to be farm systems for the rest of the league? There's probably 4 or 5, right? That the Marlins always come to mind. You know, they've had teams good enough, young teams good enough to win World Series, gone within 2 years. They're all out of there. It's happened twice. I thought that about the Pirates for a good while, but they seem to have they're having a decent season so far, and there's a long way to go. But I think they've won 11 of their first 20, maybe, or something like that. Has the Pirates? Yes, exactly, 11 out of their first 20, which isn't setting the woods on fire, but they're over 500, and that's something we hadn't seen out of them for a few years. That's the Royals beating the Orioles last night in that game 9-4. Tigers over the Twins 5-4. Tigers off to a surprising start as well, 11 and 9 on the season. The Cardinals last night fall to the Brewers. Brewers 2-1 in that win last night. I was going to see if it saw anything on Burleson.
Speaking of the Brewers, did you see? I forgot what team broadcaster it was that came to Milwaukee. And the sideline reporter had been hyping up, I want to go down the slide that Benny the Brewer goes, I want to go down the slide. So he went down the slide. And he went down it really too hard and landed into the wall and broke his arm. Trying to go down the slide.
Now he's going to sue the Brewers, right? Oh, man. Yeah, that'd be my luck. Yeah. I always wondered, are they sliding down actually in beer? Do you get to slide down? I'm kidding. I don't think so. I don't think they waste beer in Milwaukee for that particular reason. Brewers win 2-1. They are 12-6. Kind of a quiet 12-6 are the Brewers. You know, kind of getting off to the same start they did last year, right? Pretty steady last year as well. Blue Jays over the Padres 5-1. Blue Jays sitting at 11-9.
Go back to that Cardinals you asked about Alec Burleson.
Yes.
He was a pinch hitter and went 1-for-1 as a pinch hitter.
Okay. I've seen him in a pinch hitting role while I was watching the game earlier this year, and he also got a hit in that situation as well. The Mets over the Dodgers last night 9-4. Brett, are you happy with the 12-10?
No.
But like you said earlier, though, you're not that concerned because it's early. You know, I mean, the Dodgers at any time go on a 6-7 game winning streak, and then boom, it boosts that record right up there where you expected it to be. I mean, no injuries yet, though, right, for the Dodgers? They're pretty much playing healthy.
Yeah.
Okay. The Mets, think about this, guys. They started 0-5. They're 11-3 since that. 11-3, 11-8 overall here, and they're not a bad team. I've watched them play a little bit. They're a pretty good team.
They're finally getting their money's worth. Huh?
Would love to have Pete Alonso on my team, and their shortstop Lindor.
Yeah,
is that right? Yeah, take him any day too. Game of the night, Mike. Your Giants.
Did you have to bring this one up?
Well, one team had 17, and the other one had the other run.
Guess which team had one?
The D-backs had 17 on 22 hits.
Embarrassing.
22 hits.
And that was.
And I think there was a grand slam hit late.
I wonder how many were hitting the bay for the Diamondbacks. It was played at Oracle Park, you know.
Is this the Sumter, South Carolina, Montgomery?
Yeah.
That pitched in that win?
Yeah.
Is it Jordan?
Jordan, yeah.
Jordan Montgomery. We saw him pitch years ago in Shelby at the American Legion World Series. Did he go to college and play, or did he go straight to the minor leagues? He's been a solid pitcher in the majors.
Yeah, I thought he went to South Carolina. It's not.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Yeah, South Carolina.
Okay. Jordan Montgomery.
And it was Blake Snell that pitched that game for the Giants. Well, he only gave up 5 of those 17 runs.
Well, 5's too many for a starter that is getting paid. What I don't even know what Snell's getting paid, but I'm sure that he
too much.
Well, I mean there's a lot of them you could say that about that are getting too much, but he's in the category of if he deserves the big money if you go by what he's done over the last 5 years or so. But they sure don't expect him to go out there and give up 5 runs. How many innings for that 5 runs, Brett? Did you notice?
4 2/3.
4 2/3.
He's 0-3 with an 11.57 ERA so far.
Oh my goodness!
Ooh, that hurt.
Oh, should that be in your contract that the incentives should also be? What would be the opposite word for incentives?
He's given up 15 runs in 3 starts.
Man,
and only pitched 4. That 4 2/3 was the most he's pitched so far.
Now, where did he pitch last year?
San Diego.
Did they see it writing on the wall? We don't want to bring this guy back. Does he usually start seasons like this?
I don't know. He's.
Well, wasn't Snell? He was a free agent for the longest. I think he signed.
Oh yeah, it was late.
Yeah, late. So there was.
But did they get a bargain, or are they still paying him?
I don't know. He's only 31. Not like he's old, but he's always been like would only go 5 innings.
Yeah.
And 6 and a great start. A great start for him would be 6 innings, and I've never really understood why, but.
Yeah, he signed a 2-year, $62 million contract, and that was on 10 days before the season started.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah,
$30 million a year. That's.
I don't know if I said that was Rodney a while ago. Mate gave me the stat on the Red Sox, but it was actually Lenny talking about the 1.72 ERA, but they lead the league in errors. He's talking about farm teams. He says Boston must want to be a farm system for other baseball teams. Well, this past year they helped the Yankees out. They sent Verdugo, one of their best players, right after the season ended last year. They made a trade with the Yankees and sent him to the Yankees. My belief is when you're rivals like that and in the same division, you don't do any trade
right.
with somebody in the division unless they're willing to give you the house or something. But you just don't do it. Lenny also says Jordan Montgomery's first game this year because of his late signing. So another late signer, Montgomery, as well as Snell. Last night in that particular matchup. I actually have a trivia question that was supplied to me by a Braves fan, my wife, and I thought this was a pretty good one. I don't know which way I want to give it to you guys. I guess I'm going to give you the fact of what happened last night. Travis d'Arnaud becomes the third catcher in the history of Major League Baseball to have multiple 3-home run games. Only the third catcher in the history of baseball. Think about that. Only third catcher in the history of baseball to have multiple 3-run home games. Okay, I was at first reading it to think that only 3 catchers had hit 3 home runs in a game. He's one of 3 to only do it at least twice.
Okay.
At least twice. Name me the other 2. Name me the other 2. Two catchers. And
Mike Piazza.
No, but I will say this though. Just so you know, this is not shot in the dark. This is 2 catchers.
Let's say Johnny Bench.
Bingo. 1 down. 1 to go. The other one's a little tougher.
Roy Campanella, Dodgers.
Yep. Travis d'Arnaud, however you pronounce his name. Very few names start with last names start with a small letter.
Him and DeGrom.
Yeah,
We'll say.
Don't want the emphasis on that D. Let's not put the emphasis
It
on.
wasn't Yogi. It's going on
No,
like Yogi Berra.
no. More recent than Yogi. I don't narrow it down a whole lot because Yogi played 400 years ago.
Elston Howard.
But no. But Mike, I'm impressed
Gary
you come
Carter.
with that name. Jason has gone it 2 for 2.
I just had to think about who hitting home runs like that as a catcher that I can remember as a little boy when I was younger to watch baseball more frequently. Yeah.
Was it Gary Carter that did games after his days? Like was in the broadcast booth? Am I thinking about? No. I'm thinking about McCarver. What I'm thinking about is McCarver because what popped in my head was Dion throwing water on him, but that was McCarver and not Carter. Gary Carter, Expos for a long time.
And I remember him with the Mets. I mean,
Yeah,
he played
with the Mets during their World Series championship over the Red Sox. Let me say that real fast. Ned says he had a chance for 4 home runs last night. Well,
I guess Darno.
everybody came to the plate has a chance for if you bat 4 times. Had a chance for 4 home runs as he hit home run in the first 3 at bats. So yeah, that's when you really have a chance. So it's when you hit 3 home runs. And the 4 thing, how many times has 4 been hit in a game? And who was the most recent? Did that homer for the Reds? Homer Price? Am I making that up? Did he hit 4 home runs?
I don't know.
The one comes to my
Barry
mind.
Bonds do it?
I remember Bob Horner.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure hit 4 home runs on a Sunday afternoon in a game that I was actually watching. I think there was a St. Louis Cardinal, African American player, and I can't think of his name right now. And I'm pretty sure he hit 4 home runs.
Not Willie McGee.
No. Willie was known for his
I'm gonna
looks
say speed,
and his
speed.
running.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Willie wasn't pretty to look
and
at.
it wasn't Ozzie Smith. Definitely wasn't Ozzie Smith.
No. But Ozzie hit one of the biggest home runs
Yeah.
in Cardinals playoff
Yeah,
history.
yeah.
You guys may not remember that. Brett, they beat the Dodgers on I think he had a walk-off home run. On one of
The
those
most
playoff games.
recent was J.D. Martinez.
Was he with the Red Sox then?
It was before that.
Okay.
Diamondbacks 2017.
I knew I didn't remember it.
Scooter Gennett with the Reds. That's probably who you were thinking about.
Scooter Gennett is exactly who I was thinking about. That's it. Scooter Gennett. That's a name you wouldn't think about putting in there. But who was the Cardinal that I'm trying to think of? Whitten?
Yeah,
Something Whitten.
Mark Whitten.
Mark Whitten.
In
Woo,
93.
that came to me. A 4 home run game in 93. So how many times does it happen? 4 home runs in a game in Major League.
Going back to 1894.
Mike, that's you. Who did it?
18 times.
18. That's surprising.
Yeah.
It happened twice in 1 month in 2002. Mike Cameron with Seattle and Sean Green with the Dodgers. Both did it in May of 02.
I would have never come up with those names.
I knew Sean Green did it.
I would never
Josh
come up with
Hamilton did it in 2012 with Texas.
Mike, you got your lyrics ready? It's about that time. We're getting ready to get there. Ned said Bake McBride with a question mark. That was a Cardinal. Bake McBride was a Cardinal. Not every day you see somebody named Bake, but I like it. But no, it wasn't. It was Whitten. Did you say his first name was Mark? Here it is. Yeah, Rodney also says Mark Whitten had 4 homers and 12 RBIs in that game back in the 90s. He was the one I remember.
That's the most RBIs in a 4 home run, which might be the most RBIs anybody's ever had in a game. I don't know.
I'm going to guess it's not if it's not worded that way.
Well, this is just a list of
the
so
guys
that hit 4 home runs.
He had.
But it shows how many RBIs each of them had in that game.
4 home runs is hard to do.
And Sean Green's, when he did it, he had 19 total bases. So he had either a triple to go with his 4 home runs or a single and a double.
Would you rather be in the cycle club or in the 4 home run club?
The 4 home runs.
It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. There's a whole lot more people in that cycle club than 18.
And let me clear, since we're talking baseball, I know a few weeks back I texted you, I was very skeptical of Shohei Ohtani, thinking he might have been in on the whole gambling thing. I was wrong.
Well,
I would say I was wrong because he honestly had an interpreter that was basically that stole.
It is sad that what
sad.
happened to him. I just felt like he wasn't stupid enough to let himself be involved in something like that. But I didn't know for sure. But do we still know for sure? Do we?
Yeah, his interpreter's pleading guilty.
Yeah, but
you don't. I mean,
I'll give you another $1 million. I'll pay off your debt, but you got to admit this was all you.
But I mean, they even got it raised a red flag when Tony's accountant was trying to get stuff together for filing taxes and stuff, and then they asked him about this one account, and the interpreter, oh, don't worry about that account. We don't touch that account, and that's just started raising the red flags there. So,
yeah. Well, you think you would help take care of that guy? Is he close enough with him that you would help take care of him and help him get out of the mess that he's in, or would you?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think there's any getting out of it.
Yeah, I think if he would have maybe approached him himself and told what was going on, that he might have helped him, pay it off, whatever he had to do. But once he had to find out through news media. Mm-hmm. Is how Shohei found out. I guess was just through the news media.
And there's only one Major League Baseball player I know that's gonna stick up for had the Homeboy Hall of Fame, and that's Greg Anderson for going to jail for Barry Bonds. That's the only man that I know that's gone to jail for Barry. Lying, not admitting if Barry took steroids or whatnot. I think he served two different jail terms.
Provider.
Yeah, he was, and his right hand man, Barry's right hand man.
And when I say juice, I'm not referring to OJ.
Barry's right hand man, and that man went to jail. He stood on business and didn't say a word to speak out against Barry. That's the definition of a Homeboy Hall of Famer right there.
That is that.
Yeah, talking about gambling, how about the NBA player?
Yeah, Bam for life this week.
Yeah, betted on his own team, deliberately tanked. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was just stood out like a sore thumb because
than never gotten before.
I always heard compared to that, people have been betting $8 to $10 on something this guy does, and all of a sudden it was hundreds of thousands.
81,000 betted on one of Jonte Porter. He was a two-way player, which meant he spent majority of his time in the G League and then come up and play in the NBA. He made $2 million in his career as an NBA player. He only made $21,000 off his bets. When he bet on himself. And then also he's a younger brother, Michael Porter Jr., the Nuggets. And then their youngest brother, Corbin Porter, just got going to jail, just sentenced to a jail term for I think it was a drunk driving case.
Here's the bad thing. These guys are allowed to gamble. Why do you have to gamble on your own sport? It's going to be. I know why this one happened. I mean, he could fix it, and he was going to get paid.
And he was giving information to other known NBA gamblers and all that stuff. And
you're going to get caught so easy.
I wonder what this is doing to Michael Porter mentally, which they're about to play the Lakers in a series. I don't know if you heard what he just said. So that's his brother that just got banned for life from the NBA. Their other brother just got sentenced to 6 years for killing somebody in a drunk driving case yesterday. So he's got two brothers that have got in major trouble
ruin their lives
this week, and now he's starting a playoff series today.
Wow! See,
and he's one of the Nuggets' best players.
Yeah, I would say third option. Yeah.
Well, the NBA has completely endorsed sports betting. I guess they figure, well, we're going to have a scandal every now and then, but there's too much money to be made.
See, these guys are human, and they want to get in on it too. Just don't bet on your own sport. It's completely fine if you just don't bet on your own sport in any way. I mean, I don't even. They're not even allowed to bet on a random game, right? I mean, if you play for the Lakers, you're not allowed to bet on Boston, Philly.
No,
I mean, you just can't bet on your own sport. Anything else,
Plenty other things to bet on.
And I wonder if Pete Rose would have been fine back in the day if he was betting on other sports and not. I think it's different back in the day. They didn't want you betting on anything, but the fact that these guys think they're not going to be caught, because there's too many people out there that talk. Too many people that talk. Let's get to our lyrics. We've got to take our second time out here this morning, Mike.
Okay, I've changed course midstream here. I was going to give you a song in which in none of the lyrics is the actual song title name, but I'm giving you another one because of,
there's a lot of songs.
I'm just feeling peachy. I'm just feeling downright peachy. Walk along the river, sweet lullaby. They just keep on flowing. They don't worry about where it's going. No. Don't fly, Mr. Bluebird. I'm just walking down the road. Early morning sunshine.
He's going to do the whole song here.
No.
He's going to do the whole song. We'll be back in a moment.
Getting the kids to practice on time. Remembering if it's your day to bring snacks. Making it to the game with a clean jersey. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like whether your kid is going to run toward first or third base. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com.
Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln has been serving the Piedmont of North and South Carolina since 1919. Sure, they deliver to your home with home heating oils. They'll help keep you warm, but they do a whole lot more. They feature bulk fuel delivery, on-site and commercial fueling, backup generator fueling, and farm and agricultural fueling. For home or business or farms, call on Rhodes & Bill Oil Company in Lincoln, 704-735-2508. Online at rhodesandbill.com, located at 1404 East Main Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook, too.
For where two or three have gathered together in my name, I am there in their midst. Matthew 18:20. You are invited to gather with us at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church, located at 520 Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Sunday school meets at 10, and worship follows at 11 every Sunday. Follow us on Facebook for special service announcements. Join us Sunday at Rhine Heights United Methodist Church.
Buying a Bobcat is now easier than ever at West End Sales in Vail. Now get 0% APR financing. That means low monthly payments. Or you can get $1,200 instant rebates on selected models. Now is the time to buy. Like we said, it's easier than ever. Again, get 0% APR financing or get $1,200 instant rebate on selected Bobcat models at West End Sales at the Highway 1827 West intersection in Vail. Online at westendsales.com and like them on Facebook too.
Western Steer Family Steakhouse in Newton has the best food around. Their buffet is like no other. Fried chicken, meatloaf, baked chicken, beef tips with peppers and onions, pintos and macaroni cheese, green beans, yams, and the best salad bar around. Hours of business Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Western Steer Family Steakhouse, 334 Southwest Boulevard, Newton. Call for takeouts at 704-325-3926. Like them on Facebook.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Call Mr. Sparky today at 704-499-8119.
Since 2015, Zeus Auto Repair and Performance has proudly served the greater Lincolnton area. Jay, John, Tucker are there to meet all your automotive needs, including oil changes, brakes, suspension, car detailing, North Carolina state inspections, and much more. With 3 licensed state inspectors on site, you're sure to receive the quickest and best service in town. Stop by and see the boys of Zeus Auto Repair and Performance located at 1122 South Aspen Street in Lincolnton, the Old Rose Brothers service station, next to Randall's Grill for all your automotive needs. Open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today at 704-240-3061. Zeus Auto Repair and Performance.
Welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Getting ready to start half number 2 of the show this morning. Mike, I'm going to let you read those lyrics one more time.
I have audio.
Rodney Willis Yes, you do have audio. Rodney Willis is
Thinks he's got it.
correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
We walk along the river, sweet lullaby, and just keep on flowing. They don't worry about where it's going. No, no. Don't fly, Mr. Bluebird. I'm just walking down the road.
Oh, I can hear it now.
Early
Just
morning
clearly
sunshine.
in my head
Tell
with
me all I
music
need
and
to
all.
know.
It's good. The Almond Brothers, in honor of the late Dickie Betts, who passed away this week.
All right.
Blue Sky.
Blue sky.
Blue Sky. Yep. And I was going to, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just say mine. You guys can guess it in a little while. When we get to the end, you can just guess it. But
Here's my favorite part of it. Good old Sunday morning bells are ringing everywhere. Going to Carolina, it mentions. It won't be long, and I'll be there.
north or south?
I don't know. Did you say Carolina?
Either. Take your choice. Went through some baseball scores. Want to get into a couple other things right now. We got to get into the high school scene here a little bit. Talk about some of the action. Oh, my computer acting like it wants to close.
Hey,
Why
speaking
does
of Carolina,
it do that?
Speaking of Carolina, you just mentioned their college transfer portal heating
God.
up. College football and college basketball. The portal has been on fire this week. I know you guys, Duke. I just seen Duke had
Mass exodus.
Yeah, had a mass exodus. But you got a mass incoming class coming in too.
Duke's down to 2 players right now.
2 players that have any experience.
But y'all got, what, 6 freshmen coming
6
in?
freshmen.
Y'all got a
So
class?
what?
Well,
So
let me ask you
what?
this. Well, you said 2 players, or 2 players or 2 people?
2 returning players.
2 returning players.
I know that.
Tyrese.
Players or
So Tyrese
Yeah,
Proctor and who else?
I don't call them students anymore.
no? I'm just talking about, are they going to be on the court?
Yeah, Tyrese Proctor
Okay.
and Caleb Foster. Yeah. that'd
Okay.
Well, they said so in a
2 starting
podcast.
Well, that's their
guards.
2 best players, except for maybe Filipowski, right? So they got 2 of the 3.
Well, and McCain.
No,
McCain was good, yeah.
I wouldn't call Caleb Foster one of their best 2 players.
Okay.
Then we had
I thought he was the one I heard you guys say I would like to have him back.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
Oh, yeah, you got to have him back because you don't have any guards without them.
And then you had something happen in the triangle that hadn't happened since World War II.
State won a game?
No. So Dontrez Styles of Kinston started his career at the University of North Carolina for 2 years. Then he transferred last season to Georgetown. He hit the portal again after this offseason.
And somebody did that during World War II?
He's going to NC State.
Yeah.
Dontrez Styles is going to he'll be the first player to play for both State and Carolina since Bones McKinney did it in the 1940s. When McKinney started with NC State, then
I didn't even know he switched.
Fought an award and came back and played for North Carolina, and then Bones McKinney was eventually the coach at Wake Forest.
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
He's involved at every school in
the triangle. Yeah, the
Big
All
Four,
Tobacco Road,
except for
Road.
Duke, right? You didn't mention.
No
Bones
Duke.
had no ties to Duke.
But yeah, so that happened this week, and then there's been rumors that North Carolina had two players that was part of it. 2 of the scholarship players into the portal, Seth Trimble and James Okonkwo. But there's rumors now that maybe Trimble may be coming back to North Carolina. Guess he's looking to see what's out there. Maybe the grass isn't as green as he thought. I don't know, but that's just speculation right now.
What we can do is kiss player development goodbye in the new college.
You're catching on, Mike.
Yeah,
scene.
yeah.
Forget it.
But that's not even
about
college basketball. That's college sports, period. Look at
College
football.
sports period.
Well, they develop them some because they get better as players. If you're practicing every day,
Yeah.
you're developing.
But you know what I mean.
But yeah, you're not gonna. Very few are going to be there 4 and 5 years
Right.
anymore. I mean, we've seen a little bit of it here lately. But even UConn, they just had one leave after freshman year. I saw a day or 2 ago. What was his name?
Castle.
He went in the draft.
I knew he was going to leave.
Stephon
As a
Castle.
freshman,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
He went in the
left as a
draft.
freshman.
And then
Well,
Reed Shepherd from Kentucky announced.
UConn had a few.
Did they
enter the draft?
How about the
Klingon?
big guy?
Yeah, Donovan Klingon.
And then Caravan. Is that his name?
Yes.
I saw a good interview with Danny Hurley this week on Dan Patrick, and one of the questions he asked, what would it take for you to leave UConn? And he did mention, like, he wants to do NBA. He wouldn't mind doing NBA at some time, but he pretty much acted like there's not another college.
Why should there
that
be?
could lure
Yeah.
him away?
Yeah.
Because I promise you, I would not be surprised if Kentucky didn't offer him 4 times what he's making right now.
Yeah, but
to come. But
can you see? I couldn't even see his wife wanting to live in
Yeah.
Kentucky. A Jersey girl like her moving to rural Kentucky.
And if you don't want Kentucky, then what? I mean, what's out there that you would
There's nothing.
There's nothing.
There's nothing. And you know what? He's the type that he does well with those kind of kids he's got.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he doesn't like that kind of limelight either.
I've never seen a team play as hard as his teams play for all 40 minutes, and it doesn't matter who he puts in either, because guess what? I'm sure they learn in practice. If you're not going hard, you don't see no time.
Well, he'll come out on the court in the game and push a player.
Yeah.
That's what he did in the championship game.
Yep.
Push
He's old school. He's old school.
Well, and what I notice about them, it is a team. I know that's a cliche, but they do play for each other as a team, share the ball, and we don't see that with other teams.
Yeah. Yep. UConn, I mean, they've got it going on right now, and it's like, right now people want to go there and play because they've racking up national championships, I mean, if you're a guy that's in the college game to want to win a title, that'd be my first choice to go to right now.
Well, how many of them are in it to win a title now? I think it's either NIL or boost my stats for the NBA.
Yeah. Well,
is that not a possibility?
Well, I think it's always been about trying to prove yourself for the NBA.
I know that's always been.
Dan did ask Dan E. At what point when you're recruiting does it come up in the conversation NIL? How far are you into it? 5 minutes, 20? He said, he said it varies, but he said he kind of handed around that they know me well enough to not bring it up too early. He didn't say those exact words, but it's like they know me well enough not to bring that part up too early, because number one, I want to know if you're going to be a team guy, a team first guy. And so many kids today are not. They're not.
And it weeds themselves out. I mean, coaches can see who's in it to try to help the team and win, and who's in it about themselves, because eventually, now that the transfer rule is open, that you can have multiple transfers and play immediately. Coaches use the portal for their own benefit too, to get rid of some of the bad apples on the team. And just like players are looking for other opportunities, coaches are going to make sure if there's a guy that's not wanting to be there, they can get him up. They won't have to put up with him just for that season. It's not like, oh, I'm hamstrung, I got to keep him here for 3 years or anything. So it's to their benefit too.
What little rule changed this week? There was something.
That's what I'm saying. The multiple time
Sorry,
transfer.
I was reading here.
Oh, no problem. The multiple time transfer rule.
For you could
every year. Yeah.
Ostensibly, couldn't you, Jason? You could play at 4 different schools for 4 years.
Yeah,
and that stopped. How? That's changed
that stopped
now?
because of the lawsuits that was filed back in December, and the court ruled in favor of the player, saying that no, you shouldn't put basically should put an injunction on the player from trying to from wanting to move on.
So are we going to where they can move on?
They can.
Yeah.
Can.
Okay. I thought the way Mike was saying, I thought he meant you can't.
The only thing they can't do is play for 2 different schools in the same season.
Same season, like you couldn't.
And you have to be in academic good standing. Have to be in good academic standing also to have immediate playing time.
Well, Jason, let me ask you this: can college players get agents now?
Oh yeah, they have
bargain for the.
You already have NIL agents. Yeah.
Okay.
So I heard Hubert Davis talking about the distractions. You had the distractions from your friends, the family. He said now you got the agents, you got the trainers, you got the shooting coaches, you got all these other distractions that
they're basically a free agent at the end of every season.
Every season now. That's right. Well, I heard that Jeremy Roach of Duke was offered like $1.3 million by Baylor.
Not surprising. Not surprised. A player of his stature, and there's rumors if RJ Davis wanted to leave Carolina, that schools are ready to drop the bag. Yeah, drop a big bag. Where Armando Bacot was making over $1 million this past season at Carolina in NIL. I think he was just probably behind Drake May as far as the highest paid NIL players at the schools. So it's not surprising from that standpoint. Did you see that FedEx just announced that they're donating $25 million to the NIL program at Memphis?
Ooh. Boy,
so
$25 million. That's
man, you're getting the corporate people in it now. I mean,
think of Arkansas. When Calipari went to Arkansas, he got Jerry Jones money. You got oil money from Jerry Jones, who's an Arkansas alum. You got Tyson Chicken money. That's the guy for Arkansas. Chicken. And you got the Walmart money coming from Arkansas.
Soon the teams will be named that way. I would like to go to the Warren Buffetts and play my college basketball. I mean, it's unreal.
How about the Arkansas Wally Whirls?
The Arkansas
Walmart State.
Yeah.
Walmart
Hey, just think about the NIL money you come up with there.
That's what I said. That's what I named. You got
Jerry
Jones, Tyson Chicken, and Walmart. And then I count Jimmy Johnson as an Arkansas.
Man. It's
that's why Carolina fans are, why hasn't Jordan just basically make it Jordan Brand University there for North Carolina?
Will this eventually turn people off of college athletics?
I think it already is.
There's a real chance of that.
Some, especially the old school guys. I mean,
make college athletics.
It's even making me sick. I love college.
Making college athletics your true minor leagues for the professionals.
Yeah.
Those are your true minor leagues.
There's your true minor leagues now.
Yeah. Well, Hurley said in his interview, he even said this, and he was including his own team. He said, "We've become a developmental league." That's what we're doing. That's what
it's become a lot better than the G League.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, let me ask you guys this: do you think the rise in women's basketball in terms of popularity? Caitlin Clark stayed 4 years at Iowa. You think the popularity of that is linked to the fact that at least the kids stay there 3 or 4 years, and you got continuity?
For the most part, that's true, because I heard Gina RM on an interview this week saying if they WNBA changed the age limit to let them declare for the draft after 1 year, it'll ruin the women's game as far as like the men's game.
Made so much progress.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gina, I'm gonna go out today and put $500 on UConn to win the women's national title next year, because he's got a pretty good group coming back that probably went a little further than he expected.
Yeah,
this year.
4, yeah.
I think they kind of overachieved this year. Rodney says, I heard Hurley talking about going to the NBA to coach also, but I feel like it would not work like it did not work for Saban in the NFL when he went to the NFL. Yeah, that's one of them things you just don't know till it happens, or you try it. If he decides to.
Yeah, these last few years, the transition from college coaches going to pro. Billy Donovan, he's been coaching pro ball now for almost a decade now.
I know,
close to it. So he's made that transition pretty well. But there's been others that struggle that went from college to the pro.
I think in the NBA you just got to have good players. I mean.
Well, the best players usually.
I'm sure the coach
win
matters some, but I mean, you think if Dan Hurley went to the Hornets with their same roster, they're going to have about the same record. If he went to the Nuggets with their same roster, they'd have about the same record as they do now. You just got to have good players,
and you also got to have players that will believe in the coach from the standpoint that the coach is credible, know what they're doing. If the coach loses that locker room in the pros, which is what they said would happen with Milwaukee and Adrian Griffin, that he basically lost the locker room. Players that have any confidence in him, and that's why they end up Milwaukee letting him go after he went 30-13 mid-season. So if you lose the confidence of the pros in the locker room,
I think the Lakers are getting there with Darvin Ham.
Couple more comments here I want to read, but my thoughts on what Rodney said about Saban is Saban wasn't all that bad. ... See Urban Meyer. If you want to see,
right?
If you want to see
Urban Meyer,
yeah, he was coach of the year compared to Urban Meyer in the NFL. Poor what's his name? Trevor Lawrence had to go through that for a year.
But then you also, if you're Saban, you got to be saying it's not my fault. You got to blame the Miami Dolphins doctors. Remember, it was the Drew Brees and Dante Culpepper, and the Dolphins doctors said Drew.
I think if he stayed longevity, he would have been successful at some point.
Didn't he bolt during the season?
I don't even remember. Did he pull a Petrino?
No, he didn't pull a Petrino. He stayed to this here. He put as soon as he gave the press conference, I will not be the head coach at Alabama, and then boom.
He was the head coach at Alabama. Yeah. Let's see. I read that comment. Rodney also says players in college are working to make it to the show, and have that over their head while professionals are playing. Players are made. I'm butchering that. Players in college are working to make it to the show and have that over their head, while professional players are made, M-A-D-E, in quotation marks, and are harder to coach. Big mindset difference with the players from one to the other. Lenny said these guys have more power than professional athletes because they can move on quicker.
They change
money.
teams every year.
Yeah, don't have to wait on a trade. Don't have to wait to become a free agent. Don't have to wait.
But from a basketball perspective, though, these kids have been used to that since they're 13, 14 years old.
That's why AAU
because there'll be kids play for multiple AAU teams in the same weekend tournament. They'll change the same tournament. So
what I hate is I don't think UConn had a great team, and they just blew through the NCAA tournament.
Absolutely blew through it.
They may not have had a great
I don't think
team,
they're a great
but they
team
played harder than
out there
everybody
anymore.
else.
No.
You know, I mean, they played harder than everybody
Well,
else.
there's always going to be a best team,
Yeah.
but there's not always going to be a great team.
Like when you go back and think about teams
Nah,
over the last 30, 40 years in college basketball, would you put that? Would you
Greats
put the
over.
2024 UConn Huskies?
Yeah,
That's
I'd
what
put them down in between that
But you
30 to
have to-
40
you have
range.
to- there's something to be said for chemistry and getting better year by year. So yeah, I think you're right.
Here's the
UConn
thing, though.
was the best of.
Danny Hurley can do that in one season.
I know. 1 year.
He can do what you're talking about in one.
Yeah, he don't need a lot of time
From beginning
to
to end. That's a different team.
mold a team.
That's right.
Yep. I mean, he's the
got
hottest thing going right
he's
now.
got the magic touch right now. There's no doubt.
Stuart Kramer beat Hunter Huss 3-0 yesterday in high school 3A baseball. Kings Mountain over Forest View 11-0. Freedom falls to Ashe County. Ashe County wins 4-2. Mallard Creek 12-3 over West Meck. Let's see other area scores here. North Iredale and Statesville 21-1. North Iredale a winner in that. Pisgah over East Henderson 8-1. Watauga shuts out High Brighton 6-0. Ashbrook, North Gaston wins 8-0. North Gaston had a big win earlier this week over maybe Crest. I think they had a win over Crest earlier in the week. Hickory falls to St. Stephen's. St. Stephen's wins that one 4-1. High school baseball from Friday afternoon. Lake Norman Charter over West Rowan 4-2. Smoky Mountain falls to Tuscola 13-2. These are all involving 3A West schools, in case you're wondering. We'll get to 2A in a minute. North Davidson over Central Davidson 4-2. Fred T. Ford 6-2 over West Iredale. South Rowan over Northwest Cabarrus 6-1. And I'll let Mike tell you a little rundown on this one. A wild game last night at East Lincoln. These teams are both ranked high in the state, especially in the West. East Lincoln come in at number 2 in the West 3A. North Lincoln come in at number 8. But North Lincoln gets the season sweep, Mike, 11-10 last night over the rivals.
Yeah, quite a game. Both of you and I expected a game in which you would
2-1
runs would be hard to come by. You had two of the best pitchers in the league going at each other. Lefty Kellen Carr for North Lincoln and Carson Dale for East Lincoln. But it just didn't turn out. Both pitchers got an early hook. In fact, Dale went out in the second inning. Carr lasted a little bit longer, but no, it was anything but. You had 21 runs scored. I had 16 walks given up by both pitching staff. Just a lot of wild stuff going on. East Lincoln came back from a 7-0 lead, made it 7-4. Then North Lincoln went up 9-4. Then in one big inning, East Lincoln scores 6 runs and comes back to take a 10-9 lead. So it was just back and forth. Winning run, top of the 7th. Eli Sipe had a big day for North Lincoln. He went 3 for 4, scored 2 runs, including the winning run when he led off with a base hit, went to second on a wild pitch, and eventually scored on an infield error. And
the North Lincoln quarterback as well can
also,
flat out run.
Yeah, pretty good basketball player too.
Mm-hmm.
3-sport athlete at North, and then in the bottom of the 7th, East Lincoln had runners at first and third at the corners with 2 outs, but relief pitcher Casey McGinnis got the final out on a grounder to third to close out East Lincoln.
When we saw Carson Dale was going against Kellen Carr, we thought, man, this is. And I asked Mateo in the press box for the game. I said, I'm guessing this is going to be a Dale versus Carr, and he said, "Yep, that's exactly what it's going to be." Mm-hmm. 2 of the better pitchers in the conference, and then all those runs were scored. Control problems,
for both pitchers.
Yep, control problems. But I will say this, man, North Lincoln. I mean, they came out swinging the bats, and they were hammering it early on. Had a big 3-run triple in that big inning, Mike. Whenever they exploded for 6 runs and built a 7-0 lead, but just hardly ever do you see a team overcome a 7-0 deficit in high school. East Lincoln did, but still was unable to win the game. They were unable to overcome that deficit and take the lead for a short period of time.
Yeah, a number of players had pretty good games.
I think that one had a 3-run triple in it too, and it was by
Dylan Scott.
Dylan Scott,
and he had a 3 bases clearing triple in the 4th inning.
How often do you see a 3-run triple in a high school baseball game? We saw it twice.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
Brandon Washington, a big game for East, 2 for 3, 3 RBIs. Same for North. Let me see here. Tucker Sigmund, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs.
The story in that game, Mike, to me was the 9 walks that all scored.
That's right.
9 walks issued by North Lincoln pitching. But they still managed to win the game. You know, you walk 9 and they all score. That doesn't happen that often that you're going to win the game.
So with 2 weeks left in the regular season, you got these, 3
Fred T.
teams?
Ford's on top by 1 game. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Ford's on top of East, North, and St. Stephen's is hanging around in there as well. Maybe a game behind the second place teams.
I guess both teams have to play Ford again. I'm talking about North and East, I would assume, maybe.
Yep. Well, you got to remember, while both teams in regular season this week, that conference has no tournament, so they have 4 games left. In
most conferences around here only have 2, just this coming week, and then they play their tournaments.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. In 2A last night, East Burke beat Lincoln 5-4. RS Central beats Patton 11-3. I tell you what, Rutherford County baseball, RS and East Rutherford and Chase, all pretty good out of that county. East Davidson 5-3 over Thomasville. Forest Hills and Anson County no score. East Rutherford Hendersonville last night no score. East Lincoln and East Rutherford supposed to hook up Monday at Bobby Dale Reynolds Stadium. No, that's not the name of it. But in East Rutherford, they're supposed to hook up on Monday and play each other.
Well, I got to give them credit for scheduling that game. Yeah. This late in the conference.
I think they've done it here for the last several years. It used to be they didn't like each other. The teams didn't, and the fans didn't. But, you know, Mateo and Bobby, I mean, obviously get along and schedule games like that. Maiden with a win. Maiden had a good week baseball. They beat only team that hadn't lost in the conference earlier this week, Bandy's 2-1. Last night, Maiden beats Bunker Hill by a score of 3-0. West Stokes takes down Walkertown 4-0, and West Stokes has a brand new football coach, state champion head coach Trent Lohman, leaving East Surrey to go to West Stokes, Bandy's graduate.
And everybody thought he'd be coming a little further west.
Well, that Mooresville job was open, and we thought that might be where he was going to land. But nope, it's West Stokes from what we hear. Shelby beats Bessemer 10-5 yesterday. What else we got? Mike, I was just going to ask you real quick. Here's one. Newton Con over Bandy's. Newton wins that contest last night 11-1. Do you have a Cherryville score from yesterday?
Well, they moved their game up to Thursday against
They played it
Highland
on
Tech,
Thursday, okay.
And they lost to the Rams 3-2.
Lost to Highland Tech 3-2. Highland Tech's had a pretty good season, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, no.
Am I wrong?
Cherryville beat them Tuesday 3-0 to extend Highland Tech's losing streak to 9 games. But Highland Tech did get the win Thursday in Cherryville 3-2. Cherryville's probably going to be the number 1 seed from the 1A for the 1A playoffs from that conference, though.
Okay. My next question to you was going to be is what, if any, has surprised you in high school baseball so far this season? If anything, has anything been a surprise to you in high school baseball?
I can't really think of any team that's just come out of the dark. Burns is rolling undefeated. We knew they would be dominant in 2A.
Yeah. Brett, you think of anything? Jason, of anything that
I haven't been following along.
Yeah, it's just
high school baseball scene. So
I'm trying to search something here real quick while y'all are doing that. And that's why I've got you. Just kind of helping me fill the time.
But you mentioned new
for a moment
football
here.
head coach hire. You see North Gaston made a hire this week.
I did.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah, they hired
Wilson.
Darrell Wilson.
Okay.
And a couple of members of this coaching staff. One of them is my fraternity brother. Going to be co-offensive coordinator Luico Holland. He used to be on the staff at Kings Mountain previously.
I think it's a good hire for North Gaston.
And then the other co-offensive coordinator, Trey Harbison.
Yeah.
Going to be there.
Trey Harbison.
So.
Very well known guy around these parts for sure.
I think that's a good staff. And
started running back at Crest. And where'd he go? From
Northern Illinois.
That's where he wound up. He went to Virginia, right? Didn't he go to Virginia first and then transfer to Northern Illinois? Northern Illinois is the Huskies, right? Southern is the Salukis.
Yep.
He's got a tall order. I mean, that's a dynamite football league. Crest, Kings Mountain, South Point.
It is that. I wanted to give you a few softball scores as well from yesterday. Let's see. Obviously, it's got to. This thing is so tricky. There are games today, believe it or not. Quite a few softball, I think, but not as much in baseball. It was Freedom. Oh, it's still taking me to the wrong day. What is going on here? April 19th. Is that today?
That was yesterday.
Yesterday, I mean, that's what I want. I finally got it. 16-0 St. Stephen's defeats Hickory in girls softball last night in the Western Foothills. It was Stuart Kramer over Huss 12-1, North Gaston 12-0 over Ashbrook, North Iredale 16-0 over Statesville, Freedom 4-3 over Ashe County, 3A softball from Friday. Watauga 10-6 over High Brighton. Fred T. Ford beats West Iredale 16-0 in that contest on Friday. Kings Mountain 7-5 over Forest View. Kings Mountain number 3 in softball in the 3A West.
Wow.
Max Preps rankings. And the big one down at East last night, North Lincoln 7-3 over East Lincoln. And the crazy story, Mike, to us in that one was no runs scored till the bottom of the 6th, and then it winds up 7-3. A little different, a little different there. If you ask me to say, pitchers wearing down, something like that's first thing.
That's what I'm thinking. Late innings.
First thing comes to mind anyway. About that. 2A West softball, Bandy 16-0 over Newton Conover on Friday night. Brevard over Chase 16-7. It was Salisbury over Lexington 16-1. That's okay, Lexington. You still got great barbecue to lean on. No score on West Lincoln, West Caldwell. Don't know if that one was postponed for a reason or not. Of course, West Lincoln baseball had the night off because West Caldwell does not field a varsity baseball team. This one surprises me a little bit. Maiden and Bunker Hill in softball fighting for first place. Undefeated Maiden in conference taking on one-loss Bunker Hill. Bunker Hill rolls into Maiden and wins 2-1. Even in the standings in the conference race in the CVAC with just 1 week to go. 1 week to go. So somebody out there's got a chance to play spoiler in that. Shelby over Bessemer City, softball 17-2. East Burke over Lincoln 7-2. RS Central 6-5 over Patton. And that's about it. That's about a wrap there in for your high school sports on Friday.
One from Thursday, Cherville 18, Highland Tech 3 in softball.
Yes, I appreciate you providing those Cherville scores.
They're undefeated in the conference. The Lady Ironmen aren't.
They are undefeated in conference. Yep. It's time to take our final time out. We may still have time. We might still get by. Every time I think about it, I want to cry. Back in a moment.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Sooner or later, everyone wants to make their home dreams a reality. I'm sure you've seen the television shows and flipped through magazines and you know what you want. Or then again, maybe you're not sure. You know that you want something different and something better. Get started today by contacting the building professionals at Key Builders in Lincoln. Visit the website at keybuildersnc.com and check out their many floor plans. There's one there for you and your family. Key Builders, locally owned and operated at 1459 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. See their page at whatsupshopper.com and like them on Facebook too.
Lake Electric Company was founded in 1984. They are licensed in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Virginia. Safety and quality is first in everything they do. For all your electrical needs, serving Lincoln County, Catawba County, Burke County, Mecklenburg County, and all the surrounding counties. When it has to be done right, call Lake Electric. Let them take care of your family. Lake Electric Company, 4362 Providence Mill Road, Maiden. Call 704-483-4000. Online at lakeelectric.com.
Stop by Lowe's Home Improvement in Lincolnton for their great deals on items you use around the house. Need to update around the kitchen? Then shop a great selection of appliances and some up to 30% off retail prices. Buy Craftsman's 20-volt max battery and get your choice of matching Craftsman cordless tool free. Update your workshop area with a wide selection of shop tools, only $99 each. But hurry, these deals won't last long. Shop Lowe's in Lincolnton for the things you want to buy today.
Century Drug in Boger City is the first pharmacy in the area to offer peace of mind for you, your caregivers, and for your family with a convenient poly pouch, strip pouch system, just like the one you've seen on TV. No more sorting through and keeping up with your multiple bottles of medication. No more filling daily reminder boxes. No more calling in meds and worrying about refills. You'll receive all your medications once a month in a box that dispenses a convenient, easy-to-open strip pouch that is perfectly labeled for breakfast, lunch, bedtime, etc. Century will be the link between you and your doctor to assure you that your medication profile is up to date and refillable. In other words, Century Drug will do all the work. You just take your medications and be healthy and happy. Call or come by for a visit today. 704-735-2551. Century Drug, East Main Street in Lincolnton.
Welcome back. Any guesses? We may still have time. We might still get by. Every time I think about it, I want to cry.
Can you give me the decade?
Classic rock. Let's see, probably around
70s, late 70s.
Yeah, or 80. You know, in that time frame. Very good one. Just a little bit more with Bombs and the Devil. This will probably throw you off. With Bombs and the Devil. And the kids keep coming. No way to breathe easy. No time to be young. That's also lyrics of this very, very famous song. One I like to hear. One I don't turn if it's on. It's going to be there. Rodney Willis says, speaking of Fred T. Ford, former West Lincoln athlete, I think softball and basketball standout. Kim Hauser's son, Sean Jenkins, is having a great season. Struck out 18 St. Stephen's batters earlier this season, and I think he is headed to ECU. It says Max Prep stats on this junior pitcher: 6-1 record, .47 ERA, in 45 inning pitched, only 15 hits, 98 Ks. So I that's over 2 strikeouts an inning. That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I remember,
to say the least.
Yeah, when Hauser was on that really good early '90s West Lincoln team, I thought she was one of the best softball players I'd seen at that point. That was who? Kim Hauser.
Yeah. Oh yeah, without a doubt.
It went on to play at Gardner Webb, I believe.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. I don't know how to do it, but with the second pick in tonight's NFL draft, your Washington Commanders select. Go, Jason.
It will be Jaden Daniels at LSU.
Now, is this what you think, what you want, or both?
What I think.
Okay. I know you want Drake May because you're a Carolina Blue guy.
Just because Jaden Daniels his size-wise reminds me too much of RG3, and I just have bad flashbacks of what.
He was fragile.
Yeah.
Very fragile.
How tall is Daniels? 6'2", 6'3"?
I want to say 6'1", 6'2", right there.
6'2".
But it's like
very
200,
slight,
like 200, just
slight.
right at 200 pounds. I think he didn't weigh in at the combine. He didn't wait to do his weight until his pro day at LSU. So I think he's just right at 200 pounds.
Here's one thing I'm going to say to you, Brett. Let me get Brett's first. Mm-hmm. Are you saying the same, or you want something different, or do you think something different?
I want Jaden Daniels.
Okay,
and I think that's who they're going to take.
Okay, I'm going to say this about the fragile part. Daniels played in a conference where you get hit.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
So he's been, it's as close as the NFL as you're going to get, as simulating NFL. RG3 came from the Big 12. No offense, Mike, but it's not near as physical, and you don't have to take those. I don't know if that means anything or not, but it does kind of give you a little more peace of mind. That
now right here he's listed at 6'4", 181.
Woo! Surely he's heavier than that.
Yeah,
at his pro day, his pro day, he weighed in right at 200.
Yeah.
So
that, maybe that was
181.
Maybe that was like his last game at LSU was his weight.
Ooh, scary.
But I mean, look at Bryce Young. he's
I don't think he's 200 pounds.
But Bryce Young is
5'11",
kind of short and thin. He's yeah.
But the number two quarterback taken last year, not having too many problems.
Stroud,
yeah. I mean, he just stepped right in and looked like he belonged from the get go. And this team has added a lot of pieces too.
Yeah, he's built around them. That's the thing. And that's the other thing with Washington. Will you build around the quarterback you draft? Not just draft the quarterback. Let's actually build around them to have success. Yeah. If anything, look at what Houston's doing to make sure that C.J. Stroud is having success.
Well, the draft is finally here. I mean, do you guys think? I started thinking the other day. Sometimes I wonder, and sometimes I think, do we need to close the gap between the end of the season and the draft? Because do you think scouts and coaches and GMs overanalyze sometimes because you sit there and keep thinking. If you watch enough film, all of a sudden this guy looks better.
Yeah, paralysis by analysis.
Yeah, I mean,
think about it though. All the other sports, basketball's draft is like a week after the NBA finals.
Yeah.
WNBA draft was just held a week after the NCAA finals.
Well, one MLB, I'm not.
It's in the summertime. MLB is in the summertime while season's going on, but still.
And it has a lot of rounds. What I think, it's hard to compare NBA and NFL because 7 rounds versus 2.
Yes.
Yeah, 7 rounds versus 2. So what I'm saying is you don't have to be as deeply prepared, for 2 rounds.
And I think what a player is going to do other than, these players practice for the combine. They spend more, practice for the combine to get their numbers up. But look at the film. They put so much film out, their careers in college. You got at least 3 years of footage, or in Drake May's case, you got 2 years of footage because he was redshirted his 1 year. So, I mean, go by you have scouts coming out there throughout the year, throughout the season, come and look at these guys, and then you got the film. I think you could move, but the NFL knows they want to make their sport a 12-month-a-year sport, so let's stretch it on out, I'm going
to ask you guys a question. This is going to be totally different from what we're just discussing right now because this team has made no moves in the offseason. They're getting criticized for it, and that's your arch rival, the Dallas Cowboys. If you're the Dallas Cowboys and you have, I don't know what in the world that, what's the defensive guy that for them that is going to, come on.
Michael Parsons.
Parsons. Yeah. Did you see him getting hit in the stomach this week by a boxer? And oh my gosh. You could tell it hurt. I mean, the boxer was just taking him, and the boxer probably Parsons probably outweighed the boxer by 80 pounds, if not more. And he could hit him in the stomach hard as he could, and that boxer just Didn't phase him. But he hit Parsons one time, and I thought he was going to bend over. But he still kept taking punches. I don't know what good that helps you with.
Yeah, I don't know what that was all about.
In the NFL. But anyway, where I want to go here with this, Dallas has not made any moves, okay? And they're going to have Dak want big money, demand big money. That's the word I was looking for. They're going to have Lamb demand big money. They're going to have Parsons demand big money. And wasn't there another one in that? It seemed like there was 4. Which one you letting go? Out of those 3, let's say you can't have them all. Which one are you going to let go?
Dak's probably going to be the one to be let go because what have you won with them? Nothing. I mean, you won a couple of playoff games.
But you got to let one of them go. That's probably the one I'd have to choose.
And he's going to command the most money out of all 3 of those, just considering what the position the quarterback pays. And then, I mean,
if you get you a C.J. Stroud, which looks good right now, they can fight for a Super Bowl championship for 4 more years.
Yeah, but how's Dallas going to get one of those?
Well,
you
they're
just
not
have to
this
get
year.
really lucky.
Unless they want to. Hey,
so I would say CeeDee Lamb would be the one you would let go.
What if in the next 3 days Dallas pulls a stunner and trades Dak to somebody for a top 5 pick?
Well, the people are speculating the Patriots are going to try to trade out of that number 3 spot.
Would anybody even do that though? Because why would you at this day and time, like you said, Dak hadn't proven himself to be a winner.
How old is Dak?
Dak is. I think he hadn't turned. I think he might be turning 30. He might be like 28, 29. Right.
I'd trade the number 2 pick for him right now.
Would you?
I would take Dak over.
Well,
that
now he's got some
pick.
experience, which goes a long way. Could you imagine that? No, that's not ever going to happen.
No, it won't happen.
Commanders,
but I would rather have Dak than that number 2 pick.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you rather have him than Williams?
I don't know about that. I think
we got like 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Possible, probably not, but it's possible. 3 of them are going to be bust, at least. I mean, it's just the law of averages. Probably 4.
Dak's 30. He'll be 31 this summer. So. Yeah.
And you can play to your 42 these days.
Well, Tom Brady skewed that. I think.
Well, Rodgers is how old now.
Of
course, he didn't make it last year.
Where do you think Dak ranks among NFL quarterbacks?
As far as with your thoughts, or
if you were taking quarterbacks for your team, where would you pick Dak?
And the ones that exist right now.
Yeah.
And the quarterbacks that exist.
He's
right
top 15.
He's the top 15. He's definitely top half.
Oh, without a doubt, top 15.
What are the odds Jaden Daniels or Drake May reach top 15 in their career?
Here's the part
that's why I would take that.
Here's the part where you might want to reconsider. You're going to be cash strapped when you do, because these guys try to get a good young quarterback in there and make it happen for a while you don't have to pay the quarterback $50 million a year or whatever the number is going to wind up being.
What you want to do is find a guy like, I'm not saying as good as Brady because you're not going to find somebody that good.
Well, the C.J. Stroud's the best thing.
But somebody like Brady that's willing to take a little less money for the benefit of the team.
Yeah. Yep. It don't look like
I mean, if Dak's going to demand to be the highest paid quarterback in the league, then no, I don't want him. I don't want him at that price.
But you know what? You know why Dak should command that? Because I think the quarterback that he's better than, I personally think Dak's better than, is making more money than him. That's Kirk Cousins. Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins are like equal to each other.
Yeah,
and
I'd say that's
why I think the Redskins, when they were the Redskins, should have paid Kirk Cousins. Because look at the quarterbacks they've had since Kirk Cousins. They've had nothing since Kirk Cousins.
Nothing says a Washington fan, but what has Kirk won? 1 playoff game?
I'd take it.
2 playoff games?
I'd take it.
That's more than you got.
But he lost the playoff game when he was with Washington.
But I will say this. I think he is good enough on a better team to win more than that. The teams he's been on haven't just been loaded or anything, He left Minnesota at the wrong time because this is when they do have a good roster.
Also partially because of the money he's making. You can't. When you're making almost $40 million a season, you taking up a bunch of the cap. Then you can't complain that you ain't got much help when you ain't sharing some of the wealth.
Right.
I'm anxious to see how he does do in Atlanta, and because how old is he now? 38.
36.
No, he's not that old.
No, he's 36 years old.
36?
Coming off an Achilles injury. That's what I'm trying
and
to.
And Rodgers is how old coming off of one?
He's 40.
Well, I'm not saying I would want Kirk Cousins now.
Yeah.
But 7 or 8 years ago, I did want him to keep him.
Yeah, Kirk will be 36 by the time the season starts.
Because
Coming off an Achilles
Washington has been horrible since Kirk Cousins left.
Yeah.
Rodney says, speaking of possible drafted bust and 2021 third overall pick, the Cowboys have 23-year-old Trey Lance on the roster.
No thanks.
That's why I think
I don't know what happened there,
but that's why I think they're not in a rush to give Dak the extension money because they know they got the young guy behind them.
Do you think Dallas will draft a quarterback in the first or second round?
No,
I don't.
Okay.
No.
Then if that don't happen, then they plan on keeping Dak. I would say they're going to find a way.
I would draft a receiver, and CeeDee Lamb would be the one that I would have to let walk. I think he's great, and I would love to have him, but the quarterback and the pass rusher are more important than the star
and
receiver.
Obviously, the families of Dak and CD don't get along,
and
they hammer each other.
I think the big receiver is easier to find.
Yeah, than a quarterback.
Dallas' biggest need is at the offensive line because Tyron Smith is finally, I think, at left tackle. He's been injured so much, so they got to shore up that. And then Zach Martin last year, their all-world guard, has been hurt. So
didn't they lose one? Didn't one of their linemen leave?
Smith might have been the one.
Smith, I think it was
out of USC. You know, I seen a thing talking about drafts. Y'all looked at the 2011 draft? Gone back and look at it. You know, Cam Newton was number 1 pick. All pro.
Well, you go back and look at the draft, and half of them are flops. First round.
That first round was Cam Newton, Von Miller, Patrick Peterson, AJ Green.
No, those are good ones. That's a good one.
AJ Green, Julio,
but they're not all quarterbacks either.
Julio Jones, JJ Watt.
Wow.
Colin Kaepernick's in that draft. Also, Jason Kelce was in that draft.
God,
a bunch of Hall of Famers.
Yeah, that is. That one's full of Hall of Fame. That one goes back to maybe
89.
rival the Marino Elway.
Marino Elway's 83.
All those.
And then
83
89, the top 4 of the top 5 picks in 89 was Troy Aikman, Deion Sanders, Derek Thomas, and Barry Sanders in 89.
Poor Barry. Poor Barry. One more time, and it's almost time for us to go. We may still have time. We might still get by. Nobody's got this one. Every time I think about it, I want to cry. And it goes on to say, but let's see, I just lost it there.
I think you've already done this one.
I think I may have.
And I still don't know it.
I may have, but I know I did one of their songs.
Every time I think about it, I want to cry. Sounds so familiar, but I can't place it.
But I tell myself that I'm doing all right. There's nothing left to do at night but go. Title of the song.
Crazy on You?
Yep.
Heart.
Crazy on You.
No, I don't think you've done
I think
that.
I did a different one from them.
Hey,
I did do a heart song, but
2 for 2 for me today.
You got it. 2 for 2. You got
A
Brett's.
red letter day.
It is. It is. A monumental.
A monumental.
A monumental. Will we see anything crazy in the draft coming Thursday night?
You'll see some trades. You'll see some. Yeah. I still think the Patriots may trade out of that number 3 slot.
But why?
Probably they got a veteran in backup in Jacoby Brissett, and I think they want to get more.
I just think you let him be the guy this year with your new quarterback by his side.
I would. If I was the Patriots, I would take May or Daniels, whichever one's
I would
there.
too. I would too. I still think Penix is a sleeper. I still think
I wouldn't be shocked
because he's a leader.
Or Minnesota try to trade up to that 3 spot because they need a quarterback.
Yep. Well, Minnesota's going to get one. I don't know if they'll wait till
10. I think they're picking 10 or 11, something like that.
I think they are going to take one, even if it's McCarthy or Nix or somebody. I just think they are going to take one. They're one team that don't want to lose their receiver. I can tell you that.
Outside of May, we figure who's got the biggest upside of the top quarterback?
Williams. Not outside of May. May don't have the biggest upside.
Yeah, I forgot about May.
Williams, I think, has
the traitor. Traitor.
The biggest upside. Is he
leaving
a traitor?
OU?
Well, I think Williams is clearly the top guy, and then I think I've heard May and Daniels kind of interchange.
Right. I don't think you can go wrong. I don't think you can go wrong. Like I said, chances are all 3 of them won't be starting 5 years from now. The chances are just against it, but you don't know which one that may be. Thank you, Hooks. He said, great show. Have a great weekend this morning. Thanks to our listeners. We've actually ran over just about 30 seconds here. For Mike, Jason, Brett, I'm David. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.